Hello guys, welcome to Master It Lightroom. So welcome again. Let's do a quick sound check to see if you can hear me loud and clear. Perfect, okay. So let's start with the presentations. Hello Mike, Tim, Madeline, Mark, Jerry, Hilda, Nicole, and then we have Diane, and then we have Marika, Raina, Maureen as well, and Katya, and Valerie, and Candice. And so I know now. So the chat is very fast. Let's go to the beginning. We have Adele, Alejo, Alicia, Andre, and so on. Guys, we are so many. Okay, so thank you guys. I had a great response from you because you sent me lovely emails and personal stories. So I'm absolutely touched. Really, I'm honest with you. I'm absolutely touched. And that's the beauty of education, because even if we are like thousands of miles away from each other, we get to know each other by sharing moments and photos. This is what I really love about education. So big shout out as well to Valerie from Mississippi. I understand your struggles, and thank you for sharing your photos and your precious moments as well. So guys, I see that you have survived to my accent, so well done. And jokes apart, hopefully we are grown up, so let's not the language be a barrier between us. Okay, so if you need help, just tell me. Okay, what accent? Thank you, Michael, you're very kind. But sometimes when I get nervous and I have to talk about things, maybe my accent, my Italian accent gets really thick. So if you don't understand something, just raise your hand, okay? And as said, guys, if I don't pick your questions, because we are so many, William also is backing me up with the chat, but send me an email, okay? Thank you, Loren, for your compliments. Okay, so let's go to the second slide, guys. We have $1,000 giveaway. We had a winner. It was from our web design faculty, and check it out on our Facebook page. Basically, every time you connect live, you go live, you have a chance to win this wonderful prize, and winners will be announced on our Facebook page on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as 6 p.m. UK time. Okay, for those who haven't who haven't attended the past webinar, so this is my lovely face over there. This is my website. I have different publications in Elle Magazine, Harper's Bazaar, and etc. I worked in different productions. I mainly worked in London, and then I decided to basically to teach, and this is why I am here. Okay, well, thank you, Raina. I have a little bit of beard at the moment. It's just this kind of old picture actually, but I'm completely kind of different, but of course more wrinkles, you know, by time you age, and you know the story. By the way, let's go and jump into the lesson 2 agenda. So today, well, that's why I suggested to have a cup of coffee, because we have different things to do. Basically, we're going to see the different view modes. We're going to create and moving folders. And we're going to talk about metadata and renaming files, which is important, and collections as well. And at the end, as always as the end of every lesson, we have a Q&A session where you can ask me anything. And of course, be polite. So we have a Facebook page and Twitter page if you want to send us some pictures, or if you want to send us some messages as well. But of course, guys, if you want to send me, but that's why I'm here, you have to send me your pictures as well. At the end of this evening, I'm going to give you an assignment that it is not so difficult to complete, but I'm going to talk about this assignment later on towards the end of the lesson. Okay, I see that lots of students are trying to connect right now. The number is increasing as well. Hopefully you get the chance to see the lesson from the beginning, because you haven't started yet. So let's press the smart start button. I should really remove this slide, but by the way, and I'm gonna open up the program, guys. So I pause your screen for a second, and I'm gonna open up Lightroom. Okay, so it took a while, but actually, can you see the page, guys? Can you see the program? Can you see the window over there? Perfectly, okay. Long is asking, how do I basically how do I win the prize? Basically, all you have to do is to attend live. So, live, okay. Guys, so this is basically where we left my computer last time. So this is when we finished our lesson last time, but there are some major changes that I have applied. In fact, guys, before we begin, actually, I wanted to show you something that actually is very important. So if I go to Edit and I click on Preferences, okay, so you guys, this is just for the records, guys. It's nothing that you have to learn, but basically I want to show you what a catalog looks like on our computer, okay? So I go to Edit, I click on Preferences. First, an important thing, guys, actually you should do the same, okay? When you see again the video, go to Edit and Preferences. There's an option over here that says treat JPEG files next to RAW files as separate photos, okay? So basically, do you shoot in RAW and JPEG together, or you just shoot in RAW? Just let me know your answers. Okay, some of you shoot in with both. So basically, if you drop your content, the content of your memory card inside a folder, and you want to import this folder into Lightroom, into the catalog, you should basically check this guy on, I think, or actually off, because actually should be off, because you don't, if you don't want that to import JPEG files and RAW files together in order to have duplicates actually in your catalog, this should be off, if I'm not mistaken. If you click this on, basically it's going to upload everything. Otherwise, if it is off, it's gonna prioritize only RAW files, okay, if I'm not mistaken. But try actually to click and to take it off and see what happens. But actually, if I'm not mistaken, if this is off, it should just basically import just RAW files, should give the precedence just RAW files, okay? If we click on catalog settings, this is basically just for the records, guys, and basically a window should pop up, and if I click on show, let's see what happens. At the moment it's not happening anything. I don't know why this is not happening. Maybe it is somewhere from in the other side. No, okay. Basically, if I click on show, the program is not responding. This is the beauty of the live lesson. Basically, it should take us to a folder in our computer, and basically I wanted to show you how the catalog looks like. Basically, it is kind of a Word document where everything is saved, basically. So when we see all these pictures, these are just references, okay? These are saved in a file. It is a blank file, it doesn't have any shape. It is just a blank file where all these files are basically written, okay? So I can, if I click on show, let's try to, I want to show you this file. I won't insist. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It was just for our own record, okay? No, it is not working, whatever. Thank you, Lightroom. Doesn't matter, okay? It was just for the records. The most important thing is just you have to have this guy on, okay? Edit preferences and make sure to click this guy on and off, depending if you want JPEG and RAW files together in your catalog, okay? Do you understand that, guys? Okay, don't worry, Jill, if you're a little bit late. We're just about to start the lesson, okay? So that's perfect. So what I wanted to say is just, I want to show you something, guys. I want to show you something. Last time, do you remember that we had a structure over here? Do you remember that I created, if you attended the last lesson with me, you should remember that we had different subfolders like music, portfolio, or wedding, etc. So this time actually I decided to completely delete the structure of my master folder, because this might be your begin your scenario where you begin with. So you shot like 300 photos, 1000 photos, whatever. You drop them on the computer, and you have to be able to make your subfolders and to give them a structure. So in fact, if I go on my portfolio, that you, here it is, okay, whatever. This is basically Lightroom. This is our catalog. This is how our catalog looks like. So it is basically a blank page. So when we import the pictures, this is created. So when we click and import the pictures, we don't make any duplicates. We can do whatever we want on our preview files. All the changes are saved over here, and our photos that are on my desktop are not really touched. We are not working directly on the photos inside my master folder. We are working on the references, okay, on this file only, which is created when you import your pictures in your computer, okay? So as you can see, I opened so many windows, sorry guys, that's why it wasn't working. As you can see guys, as well, in my portfolio, if you remember it, it was on my desktop. There's not really a structure. I decided basically to delete it and to start from the beginning with you. So you understand when you basically put all your photos on your desktop, you haven't categorized them, basically you can do it simply with Lightroom, okay? So we open up a program again and we want to give it a structure. So every change, you're gonna see that every change that we make through Lightroom is going to be applied as well in my folder on my desktop as well. So at the moment there are lots of pictures, but I want to create a structure for myself. So let's say that you went outside and you shot boats, you shot landscapes, boats, animals, and you want to create some subfolders. You can easily do it through there. So if I click on this symbol over here, it says create a new folder, okay? If I click on it, and I should be able to add a subfolder. First off, make sure to highlight your master folder, otherwise your subfolder will be created somewhere else. So make sure to click on the plus symbol and click on add subfolder. So we can decide we create a subfolder for ourselves. The first subfolder I want to create, since I want to include these pictures in a subfolder, I want to call it perhaps Photoshop. You can rename it however the way you want it, okay? That's not really, it is totally up to you. Don't worry, Melissa, you're not really late. We just started, okay? So let's click on create, and what we can do at the moment, we can click on the first picture and make sure to click and also on the last one, the ones that we want to include, and click, hold and drag, okay? So make sure to click on the image and not on the grid like I did last time and it wasn't working. So if you want to click and drag your picture, make sure to click on the image. As you can see, do you see that, guys? It seems like I'm grouping them all together and they're ready to be moved as well in my new subfolder that I have created for myself, okay? Can you see that, guys? Can you see this little icon with multiple pictures together? All right, perfect. So I'm basically dragging them and dropping them inside my Photoshop subfolder. As well, guys, make sure to understand this warning message, okay? So basically, what Lightroom is saying to me that we are physically moving these files on our computer. So as we move in the references, of course, but we move in our files as well. That's why every change that we make, we should make it within Lightroom. So therefore, I'm going to create some issues on purpose so you can see how to resolve them, okay? So if I click on move, don't click on don't show again, because for every change that we make, we want to receive some sort of a warning from Lightroom, okay? If you are not really confident, we can always go back on our first steps, but don't worry, Lightroom always tells us something when we're doing something weird or moving files or whatever. There's always a warning message. So we click on move and let's have a look at what happened in my portfolio inside on my desktop, okay? I minimize it. Let's have a look, guys. As you can see, Lightroom has created physically and moved my pictures as well on my folder that was on my desktop, okay? So basically, I moved the references, but I moved the pictures as well. So basically, Lightroom works really well with your computer. Of course, I can see them as well. So I went back to my panel. I can see them there, but if I click on Photoshop, basically, I just visualize the content of my subfolder. And if I want to create another subfolder, basically I click on add subfolder. That's a shorter way. let's select first the pictures that we want to include in the next subfolder. I click on all of them and I create a new subfolder. Add subfolder. Guys, make sure to highlight your master folder, otherwise we would have created a subfolder inside my Photoshop subfolder, but we don't want to do that. You always highlight your master folder where you want to create your subfolders, okay? So we can always delete the subfolders, it's not a problem. At the moment I want to add a subfolder again, and as you can see, guys, we can name it like studio photos. Studio would work. I can click on include selected photos and I click on create, and by magic actually all the pictures that I have selected are automatically included in my subfolder. If I click on it, it basically I can see all the photos that I've included in my subfolder that I have just created. And as well, in my Alessandro portfolio folder, master folder or my desktop, we can see that actually a new folder has been created. And you proceed from there, guys. You start from there. Basically, if you want to organize all of your pictures, you can do it just adding subfolders and subfolders. So I'll be really quick on it. I want to add another subfolder called the shard, because we are gonna start to edit the photos together later on. Okay, I create another subfolder. Okay, why this is not working? The shard, let's see if that works. Create subfolder. Okay, and then I have to include these pictures all together. Okay, and so on. Okay, is that clear, guys? Marika is asking, can you create more than a master folder? Yes, but you complicate your life, to be honest. I'm not showing you that because basically it is like it gets trickier, okay? So we don't want to do that. We want to have a master folder and we want to create a structure for ourselves, okay? Do you follow me here, guys? Is it all clear, or do you want me to repeat it? Okay, that's perfect. Mike, when you want to include some photos in your subfolder, you just create one. I'm gonna show you, I will do just really fast. I call one add subfolder and I call it wedding. Okay, I create it. And as you can see, I created a new one over here, and I click on the first picture. I click on the last one that I want to include, perhaps. These are the wedding pictures. I click on one image. As you can see, they are all highlighted. They are all really in gray, in light gray, so we can differentiate between to the other ones. Okay, these are really Lightroom is telling us they are like we highlighted them, so we have selected them. So I click and drag. Okay, as you can see, the symbol over here, different photos stuck together, and I just drop them inside my wedding folder. Okay, and I click on move. Lightroom is telling me you're moving physically the picture and the references together, and I click OK, and of course Lightroom has to process everything, but we have created as well a new folder inside our computer. No, Marcia, I'm not holding the control button, okay? I'm not holding the control button. I know, guys, lots of questions. William perhaps will help you out with the chat. Let's move on, and basically what I wanted to say, okay, basically if we do something outside Lightroom, Lightroom gets really angry. I'm gonna create an issue that it may occur to you as well. Let's click on our Photoshop. Let's click on our Photoshop subfolder, and I want to rename a folder. Okay, let's say that you were really distracted, we were really tired, we decided to make some changes outside Lightroom and we want to rename a picture. So I closed Lightroom, I opened up my Alessandro portfolio on my desktop, I went into my Photoshop subfolder that I have created, and I want to rename a picture, but I'm doing it outside of Lightroom. Okay, so I click and I rename my picture and I call it hello. Okay, I don't know other names as well. Okay, and I click enter, and basically I just renamed the picture. But let's see what happens inside of Lightroom. Can you see this mark over there? It is basically an exclamation mark. Lightroom is saying that a photo is missing. It is not really missing. We still have it on our computer, but Lightroom cannot recognize it. So we have to relink it. We have to relink this reference to our picture. Can you see that, guys? Can you see this like exclamation mark? Okay, that's perfect. So if you double click on this exclamation mark, Lightroom is saying, Alessandro, you have to relocate manually your picture, okay? And we can click on locate and Lightroom does the job, okay? So basically and visually we identify the picture that we just have changed and we click on select. Lightroom is saying, of course, that the picture has a different name. Of course, thank you, Lightroom. I know I just changed it. So I click on confirm and the relink has been reestablished, okay? The reference has been relinked to its original file. So if you move photos into other locations, if you rename your photos outside Lightroom, Lightroom stops working, okay? So you have to do everything inside Lightroom. So if you want to move the pictures into another folder, let's create another subfolder together. Let's move them, okay? Don't do anything outside Lightroom with the pictures that you have included into your catalog, okay? Do you understand this concept, guys? In fact, if we want to rename a picture, the best way would be if we have to click on library and rename photo, F2. Lightroom is telling us also the shortcut for it, which is F2, okay? So if I click on F2, I can change the sequence. I can create like a custom name if I want, or I can choose a date, file name, whatever it works better for you. You can do it or the way you like, okay? So basically we can create a custom name and we can call it 123 if we want, okay? And the picture has been renamed inside Lightroom. If we want to rename all the pictures together, we just select them. Guys, to select some pictures, you just click on the first one and press Shift, and you click on the last one, and you click on Library, and again rename photos. If you want to be faster, just click on F2, okay? And of course you can select the same, go through the same procedure and rename your photos together, okay? Custom name and date, file name, and etc, etc. Of course, Rashid, you can create a subfolder of a subfolder and you can continue and go in a loop, and there's no end, okay? You can create as many subfolders as you want. Okay, let's go on our, let's go back on our master folder, and I'm gonna be showing you guys some useful view modes. So the lesson is about view modes that can help you to have a different feelings of your pictures. So, okay, so if we press J, first off, on our keyboard, like J, like Johnny, I should be able to show different like information. If I press a second time, of course, I can see even the pixel size, and I can see that is a JPEG or a CR2 or a NAV file or RAW in general. If I press J again, I go back to my normal standard view. So if I press J, basically I visualize some information. It gives you an idea of how many pictures you have. For instance, if we scroll down to the last pictures, it's saying that we have 125 images, for instance, okay? Melissa, I see your question. Maybe William is gonna help you out with the answer. So for all of you guys, maybe we dedicate some questions at the end, or perhaps send me an email, okay? If we want, we have another way, perhaps, if we want to change the name of a picture. In fact, on the other side, if we see metadata, do you know, guys, what is metadata? Do you know, guys, how is it created and why we use it? Okay, so Maureen doesn't know, but don't you worry. Is more or less, Mina. Okay, well, like myself, more or less. So basically, when we press the button of a camera, lots of information are written inside our file. So that's why basically if we scroll down on metadata, it's not necessary to visualize it, but basically it is telling us lots of information about the time when we shot the picture. It says the dimension of the photo, the ISO that we have used, the shutter speed as well, and the flash if fired or not, and as well it records the maker of your camera. So it says it was an Nikon D90 at the time, and the lens perhaps it doesn't recognize it because it has been saved as a JPEG. So depending how you save your files, you might not be able to maintain your metadata as well. Let's try with another picture as well. So it says there was an Hasselblad and the lens was 120 millimeters, really amazing lens and super expensive as well. Okay, well, the reason we use actually Carlos Lumieri was my mentor as well, but I actually use this lens, and we can change, if we want to change the copyright status. Later on in the lessons we will talk about watermarks as well. If I want to change the copyright for my own purpose as well, if I want to put my photos on internet, I just click on copyrighted as well. If we want to change the name of a picture as well, I can click it, I can change it from here. So product 016 is the name of the picture. I can call it like however I want. I can call it like Alessandro 1 or whatever, and basically I'm renaming the picture inside Lightroom. Let's not do it outside, okay? So that's perfect. And if I want to rename perhaps a subfolder, I can always click on rename. I'm using my I hover over the subfolder that I want to rename. I right click with my mouse and I click on rename. You can always rename it, you can always delete it, you can do whatever you want. If we delete a subfolder, okay, I just remove it. If I delete a subfolder, Lightroom is saying that it is actually deleting the reference, but the pictures are still on my desktop, okay? It's just removing the subfolder that I have created with the references, but my pictures will be still on my desktop. We are not deleting anything, okay? So next thing would be basically talking about view modes, these magnificent view modes that help us to look at the pictures in a different way. First off, you have to press the letter T like telephone, T like Terminator on your keyboard. T basically toggles on and off the bar with the view modes, okay? So if you press T, let's see a little like gray strip is appearing with different view modes that we are going to explore. We are already familiarized with G, which is our grid view, and a little bit with E, okay? So if I click on perhaps one photo and I click on E, I should be able to see it in big, okay? And as well, if I click over here on the left side of the panel, I should be able to see a loop and different size as well, okay? So as you can see, we have fit, fill, 1:1. What does it mean? If we click on, first off, if we click on our picture, we should be able to see it in big to enlarge it or basically diminish the size of it, okay? So if we click again, we enlarge it. But if we want to go even further, okay, we can zoom in 100% if we want. If we click 1:1, basically gives us the 100% resolution and view of our picture. If we click on 1:3, should be able to actually, let's see, 2:1 actually should be to 100%, and if we can exaggerate of course and go 3:1, 4:1. So 4:1 basically is 400%. 1:1 is your regular and standard view, but of course if you're enlarging a lot, because you have to look for details inside the picture, unfortunately this is a JPEG, so we can't really experience a lot of quality because we zoomed a lot. But you can always move your navigator around if you want to see, if you're looking for details, if you want to see that something has to be corrected or something that you didn't want over there and you want to remove it later on, you can always use your navigator. So I'm using basically this panel. It's helping me to have a better view of my picture, okay? So if I want to go back on my standard view, I click on fill and I have a regular view of my picture, okay? Can you follow me there, guys? We have just explored the first one, which is our loop view, okay? That's perfect, okay. So we go back on our grid view. Let's press the letter G. and let's go back on our master folder. Okay, the next view mode would be the E, which stands for, sorry, it is navigator, no, sorry, compare view. Okay, so as you can see, guys, there's an X and a Y. So basically this is our compare view, which helps us to compare different pictures. Why we want to do that? Basically, if we have, let's say, two similar pictures but we don't know which one is working better, we want to compare them all together so we can see that maybe one was more in focus than the other one. So let's pick two, for instance, and let's see what are the differences. So you click on one, you shift and click on the second one if you want, or you just basically click on one if they are next to each other. Otherwise, you click on the first one and you control click on another one in order to select two of them. And we click on and we press the letter C. Okay, at this time I want to compare these two that are next to one another. Okay, so I click on them and I press the letter C like Carl on my keyboard, and let's see what happens. Okay, so how do you call it, guys? How do you call this letter, this little thing here? Let's see your answers. Well, guys, I call it laziness. Because basically I had a new camera. A friend of mine just gave me a camera, and I was so lazy that I didn't even bother to take off the date and the number. Basically, we can see that it was shot in London on, actually it was Christmas, yes, was basically around Christmas 2013. And basically what I had to do is just I had to retouch it later on with Photoshop, because I was so lazy that I didn't want to take this feature off. Okay, so basically what this view mode allows us, basically we can compare different pictures together. If we click on a picture, doesn't matter which one, if we click on the first picture and we hold and we drag the mouse up and down, left or right, we should be able to see them all together. Basically the two pictures are repositioning together as well, so I'm comparing the same frame as well. If I want to go closer, if I want to have a better view as well, I can click on 1:1, which should give me 100% basically zoom on my picture, and I should move with the navigator. Okay, as you can see, guys, if we had two similar photos, these are not really similar, but if we had two similar photos, you could compare the exact same size, the exact same position, to if you wanted to determine which one was sharper or not. For instance, if we click on this little lock over here, it allows us to move one independently from the other one, and if we want to sync them in the same position again, just click on sync and it should do the job. If we want to move them again then together, just press on sync and click on the lock again, and you should be able to move them and see which one it works better for you. Thank you, Douglas. Yes, it was actually a very foggy day, and yeah, very particular weather condition over there, and I was lucky to be able to catch it. Okay, next one would be our survey mode. Okay, survey view. We press the letter N on our keyboard, and like Naples, or N like, I don't know, N, okay, N. And basically, but first off, we have to select a couple of pictures. Okay, first off, guys, I forgot to tell you that there's a lot, as you can see, guys, we have a lot of clutter around. Okay, we should be able to have a better view of our picture without having to see the library, develop module, and all these things around. So we press Shift and Tab on our keyboard. Okay, I repeat it, Shift and Tab. Okay, and let's see what happens. I enlarge my pictures so I have a better view. Okay, as you can see, basically I removed all the things around. If we want to go back, we have two options. We press Shift and Tab, or we click manually on these arrows all over, okay? I have a question from Steven. What should title be used for difference from file name? Where do you see, sorry, maybe William can help you out with, thank you, William. Lots of things to do today, guys, and especially we have to talk about ratings, stars, and colors. Don't get angry, Steven. Hopefully, William will help you out with the chat, okay? Shift and Tab, Melinda. Shift and Tab, okay? And okay, Shift and Tab, I press it again and I enter in this enlarged view mode where I can see better my pictures, okay? And I can press Shift and Tab, or guys, you can do it manually. As you can see, guys, we have different arrows over here. If you click on them, you should be able to minimize these panels, okay? And to have a better and free basically vision of your photos, okay? We click them back again and we go and see our survey view. Survey view, it is amazing. We can see it here and we press the letter N. But first I want to select some photos. I want to go back on my grid view because I want to select which one worked better. So let's say that, guys, we had individuated some photos that we want to compare together. So will be more than two, okay? So in our previous view mode, we just saw two pictures together. But now we want to see how 3 or 4 or 5 pictures look together, okay? Let's say that I want to prepare, maybe I want to print my jewelry portfolio and I want to see which one works better, okay? Then I start to select my picture. So let's start with one, for instance. I press Ctrl and click, I select my second one, and then I press again, I click on the third one, on the fourth one, and maybe on this one and on that one, okay? You can click on how many as you want, and then you press the letter N on your keyboard and you should be able to enter this survey mode. Basically, you should be able to compare all these pictures all together. If we press Shift and Tab again, we should be able to enlarge and have a better view of our work. And if we press the letter L, we switch the light off, we dim them off, okay? And if I press the letter L again, it's so dark that I can't even see your chat again. I can't even see your chat anymore. It completely disappeared. I have to press the letter L like light, okay? If you press it twice, basically you darken everything. And if you press L again, lights up, you should be go back on your normal view, okay? So basically, if we press Shift and Tab again, we go back on our view. If we want to remove something from our survey view, okay, we just press on this like little X, which is a symbol on the corner of every picture. Just press on it and we remove this picture from our survey mode, okay, it's from our survey view. And this is just to have a better feeling or different like feeling or approach to our pictures. If you're preparing like a black and white portfolio, you can include your black and white pictures, see how they look like together. If you have a good feeling, just put them forward for the post-production. And in fact, now we're gonna talk about rating, stars, and colors. Is it all clear from at this time, right, guys? Is it all everything clear? Is perfectly everything understood, or do I need to repeat anything or something that I left behind? Okay, well, of course, guys, you can always go back on the recording. It should be clear enough. We haven't done much, to be honest. We just have created a structure for ourselves. We have explored the different ways that we can rename our photos and the different ways that we can look at our photos, okay? Okay, that's perfect, that's perfect. Okay, next will be, we are going to talk about rating, stars, and colors, okay? So let's go back on our grid view. There are lots of pictures that are not categorized yet, okay? So what time is it? Okay, we are still in time. I want to go on the chart. Basically, this is the time that we downloaded, we made a project, we just vomited all the pictures on our desktop, and but now we have to be able to organize them. Okay, so there's a total mess. There are lots of pictures from different days, lots of different weather conditions. We have to be able to decide which ones are good and which ones are bad. Okay, so at this point, what I do, okay, first off, guys, if you press the letter T, I'll press it on and off again. You should be able, actually there's a picture that should be going in studio. Okay, let's move it. Okay, I don't want to see you. Okay, so if you press the letter T, we should come across different stars and different colors. Can you all see these, guys? Can you see these little stars and different colors as well? And as well on this side, you should be able to see it. This is basically our filtering and rating panel. Okay, this is where we start to edit and select our photos. Okay, how does it work? So basically on your keyboard, from 1 to 5, you should be able to assign a star, whether you think 1 is bad or if you think that 5 is cool, or you should be able to, from 6 to 9 on your keyboard, you should be able to assign a color. So basically this is all about editing. So what do I do when I edit my pictures? First off, we can stay on our grid mode, but actually I want to see my pictures larger. Okay, so what I personally do when I edit my pictures, I click on my loop view, which is E, and of course I go to fill, because this is like of fit, which is better. And as you can see, you have all these pictures that you have selected in your film strip. Okay, with your arrow on your keyboard, left and right, you should be able to go and browse through all of them. Okay, as you go, you should be able to assign a color or a star. Okay, what do? I like this picture, I give it a 3. Okay, this works like, you of course you're gonna be finding your own method, your own way. If you think that 1 is cool and 5 is bad, you're free to do so. Okay, so and if you think that, also we're gonna be talking about colors in a second. So let's say I press 3 on my keyboard. Okay, so you use your keyboard. I press 3. If I want to remove the 3 letters, as you can see, 3 stars have appeared over here. If I press on the letter J, well, actually nothing is happening over there, but doesn't matter. Okay, you can see the reference that you have given to this picture, but just having a look at this panel over here, we just gave 3 stars. If I want to remove the 3 stars that I just given, I just press the 0 on my keyboard, and as you can see, I don't have any rating at all. So basically, I like this picture, I give it a 3. This one, perhaps I have 2 similar ones, but maybe this is working better because I don't have all this clutter here on top. Maybe give it a 4, okay? Because I like it more. Here is totally a mess. I don't like it. Maybe I want to give it a red color. Red, for me, it is completely bad, okay? I don't want to use this picture, so I give it a 6. If we press 6 on our keyboard, we start to assign colors. As you can see, a red frame has appeared over here. If I want to remove the color that I just given to this picture, I press 6 again and I remove it. Okay, I have another option. Of course, I can click on my mouse with my right button on my mouse. I click on this and I click on set rating. We can give it the stars as well, and set color label as well. And then you can choose none if you want to remove it. So it should be really easy. You can do it either on your keyboard, or if you press the right click and you go on rating and color label. Okay, is that clear, guys? Thank you, Will, for helping me out with the chat. Lots of questions, I know. Okay, that's perfect. So editing is like, I know that editing could be complicated. What I do is just, when I start to edit, then after a while I take a break because I get bored on my pictures, take some fresh air. Maybe going twice on your pictures, maybe you saw that maybe you assigned like a 2-star to a picture, and then the second time you think maybe it should be 5. Okay, but you can always change the rating on your pictures. So let's say that this one, it doesn't tell me much, I just give it a 1 star. Okay, and this one is even worse, I give it a red color. So I press on oh sorry guys, on the 6 on my keyboard, and I continue. This one basically I had a foggy day and it was completely covered. The shot, as you can see, we can see the building, which I find it kind of interesting, so maybe I give it a 4 star, but because I want to include it, and so on. So you proceed just by giving stars, 1, 2, or 3 as you like, and then you can give it colors. I just gave it a red color, I give it another red color, perhaps this one works better for me, and I press on 7 and I give it a yellow. So you give to this color a meaning. Okay, you so basically sorry, Nancy saying, I don't see the small boxes of colors next to the stars. Nancy, maybe I should be able to enlarge this film strip. And as you can see, you basically, if you press the letter T, you should be able to toggle on and on your rating and color strip. And as well, you should be able to identify a frame on around your picture. If we go back on our grid view, as you can see, a color tag has been applied to our picture, so you should be able to identify it even faster. Okay, so as you can see, we have a yellow frame around and red frame as well. We can even rate and color label our pictures from our grid view if we want, so maybe it makes it easier for you. I want to see them in big, and I always use the loop view to rate and color label my pictures, but maybe it helps you to do it through the grid view. Okay, so it is completely for you. And for purple, Jill, I think it is 9 if I'm not mistaken. No, 9 is for blue and 8 is for green. For purple you have to assign it manually. Okay, but you have enough. Okay, and then you can combine all this together. Actually, as you can see, we labeled 3 pictures as red. You can even combine labels and stars all together. Okay, if I press J in my grid view, I'm able actually to see the stars beneath it. At the moment I don't have any stars assigned. I can even combine the red frame with my 3 stars that just have assigned. I press the number 3 on this image, and as you can see, I have assigned 3 stars on this picture. Maybe on this one I want to assign 4 stars, and so on. So you have a combination of colors and stars as well. Okay, it is very easy. You just give to these colors a meaning. Okay, if, like the traffic light, for instance, if the green light of the traffic light means free, you can label your pictures with a green, which means okay for you. Red is completely wrong, and maybe yellow, it is for future purposes. Maybe yellow are the pictures that you want to review. Once you are done, okay, can you follow me there? Do you understand more or less the way that is behind it? Can you understand the method? Basically, you just assign, you give stars the way you want and colors the way you want. It is absolutely personal. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad that we are all on the same page. Once you have basically assigned stars or colors to your pictures, you have also flagging here, but I'm not going to be explaining flagging. Basically, it is a further selection that you can use, but what I personally do, I use just colors and stars, and the combination of the two of them, you can have like you can basically differentiate lots of photos together. Purple would go maybe for social media, yellow to the photos that you have to send for email. Once you have done your selection, make sure to click on this guy to click on this little button over here. I'm basically rotating the mouse around it. You should be able to identify it. It's a small button. If I click this on, I start to filter my photos. Okay, if I click, now nothing is happening. I go back on my grid view. I want to just just reduce the thumbnails to just to give you a better feeling of what is happening. Basically, I switched the button on. It was off like this. I switched it on, and if I press on these stars or on these colors, basically I'm able to filter just these colors or just the pictures with the stars. Okay, let's see what happens. As you can see, guys, we applied 3 stars and a red color, a red label on some pictures. So I want to see just the red pictures. I click on the red square. Okay, let's see what happens. As you can see, I basically viewing inside the shard, where all the shard subfolder where all these pictures are located. I'm able just to see the red labeled pictures. Okay, if I want to see the red and the yellow, I press the 2 of them, and I should be able to see the red and the yellows as well. If I want to see just the yellows, for instance, I click on the red again, and as you can see, the little yellow square is highlighted. This is telling you that you're just seeing the yellow pictures. Okay, so basically I'm using the filter, the filter button. If I press this off again, I should be able to see all of my pictures. Okay, but once you have applied your rating and your color labeling, if you click on this button, you should be able to filter them and to see basically the categories or the rating that you just have applied. Okay, and you can combine the 2 of them together. So let's press this on again. As you can see, I have a red picture, 2 red actually labeled pictures, but they have a different star rating. It is very simple. Basically, you want to see first off just the red labeled pictures. So I click this guy on, and I click on my red square. So I'm seeing all of them. If I click on the stars and I'm saying basically I just want to see the picture that I labeled red and I have 3 stars, so I press on this one. Make sure, actually, as you can see, I'm seeing also the 3 and the 4. This is because we have to work on this option over here. So if we press on this symbol, little symbol over here, and if I click on, it's telling us then we have few options to select. Rating is greater than or equal to. Basically, it's telling me the rating that I just filtering is greater than 3 or equal to 3. So basically, I can see the 3 or 4 as well. If I click on rating is less than or equal to 3, will just showcase the 3-star pictures, and maybe if I have 1 or 2 stars as well. And as you can see, if I click on this guy, I can see the 3-star red picture, and it's just on the red picture as well. If I click on rating is equal to 3, I just see the 3 stars labeled, the photo with 3 stars, and that it was labeled as red as well. Okay, can you follow me there, guys? Is it clear enough? You can combine these 2 all together. Okay, so just experiment with that. Okay, it's not really difficult, guys. You can't really mess it up with Lightroom. It is not possible to ruin completely your work. This is a very fast way basically to organize your pictures. And if you can find your pictures back and you say, oh my god, where did I put them, just click the filtering off. Okay, and you can see them all together. And if you want to refine your selection even further, maybe you have selected 30 pictures with labeled in yellow, maybe you can start to assign 2 or 3 stars as well to them, and then basically you organize your pictures. Maybe you have a folder with 300 photos from a wedding that you shot yesterday. The good ones, you label them in green. The mid ones, maybe they're yellow, and the bad ones are in red. And then, of course, within the good ones, maybe you can start to assign 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5 star ratings as well. So it is actually Mina is saying it looks very, very similar to Bridge. Well, yes, indeed, this is a very, very similar way to work. But of course, what happens, guys, if we delete, we just want to delete, I don't know if I should say that, maybe I will keep it for the next lessons. If we remove a photo, basically, if we really, basically, what happens? Sorry, guys, I got really confused. Let's say that we label the red photos, really the really, really bad photos are the ones labeled in red. Okay, what happens if we want to get rid of them? What happens if we want to delete them? We just basically filter them on. we should be able to, if I want to remove the star assignment, if I don't want to filter through the stars, just click this off again twice. I should be able to do it. I should, to be honest. Okay, and I see all of them. If I want to delete my pictures which are in the catalog, if I right click on my mouse and I click on remove photos, basically Lightroom is giving us the option: do we want to remove the photos from the catalog, or do we want to delete them from the disk? So the choice is up to us. Okay, do we want to delete them physically from my folder which is on my desktop, or I just want to take them out just to get rid of some stuff in my catalog? So this choice is completely up to us. Okay, so last thing is collection. Guys, we're running really great collections. Let's go back on our grid view. So I press the letter G. Okay, let's switch this off. I press the letter G. I'm already in my grid view. I click on my master folder and I should be able to visualize all my pictures. Okay, so collections. Can you see this, guys? Collections. It is located on the left side of your panel, and if you click it, you should be able to basically we should be able to make a couple of things from there. Okay, collections are a quick and easy way to group our pictures from for our own reference. Okay, I can create a collection. I can name it as I want. I can name it maybe, let's say, I don't know a name. Let's just give me a name, perhaps products, okay? Products, okay? So I'm creating a collection here, and I'm basically, see, it's basically a folder which is empty. I can basically click and on the folders, click on the pictures that I want to include. Perhaps I call it products, or I should put products in it, and I'm basically dragging and dropping the photos inside my collection. But be careful, guys. Why I did that? I didn't duplicate my photos. I didn't copy them anywhere. I just created them, basically kind of a playlist. So think about a collection like a playlist. So it's really accessible group that you created for your own reference. Okay, so basically if you want to work on your products, on your collection, basically you should be able to click on the folder that you just have created, a collection, and you should be able to visualize just the pictures that you have included. Basically you didn't create two references of these pictures, you just have basically created some sort of a playlist for your own sake. Okay, it is a different way to even refine your selection as well. If you think, let's make an example. We are very tired. It is evening, it is very late, and we see that we got some nice pictures, but we want to work on them tomorrow. Instead of assigning them maybe a rating, because we don't want to rate them, we just maybe create a collection and we call it just to work on them tomorrow, or maybe just for tomorrow. So we have created a collection, and then we can include the pictures that we saw and we want to work on them tomorrow, but we are very tired. We drop them over there, and tomorrow when we open Lightroom again, we know that we have basically saw these pictures, we want to work on them, we want to edit them, and because we were really tired to assign them color labels or star ratings, we just have created a quick collection. We just drop them in there and they're ready to go. Okay, do we understand this difference, guys? We didn't duplicate the references, we didn't duplicate the photos on our computer, we just made a shortcut to the references. Okay, and of course we can create also a smart collection, but maybe I'm gonna be talking about a smart collection in the next lesson if I have 3 minutes. It takes 3 minutes, but we are running really late. So what I'm going to do, basically I'm gonna swap over to my PDF, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna jump into the Q&A session. Okay, thank you, guys. Okay, so we're almost there, guys. Thank you for being so patient. And I'm sure that, well, just exercise with these features, okay? Just exercise with the different view modes and exercise just applying some ratings. If you don't like them, you can remove them easily. Just press the same letter, or press the same number of your keyboard, and basically will remove the label or the number or the star that you have just applied, okay? Thank you, Lorraine. So I can calm down a little bit. So we're ready to go. Let's analyze what we have done so far, okay? So, and of course, I suggest you guys to see again the recordings. And if you have any question, of course, you can always email me. Now we can make new folders. You can create subfolders, okay? We can rename files, guys. Make sure to rename your files within Lightroom. Otherwise, we create issues that sometimes are really, really hard to resolve. So make sure to rename and to move everything within Lightroom. It makes your life easier, okay? We can now compare our photos. We have just explored different view modes. We can rate photos. It is totally up to you the way you decide to rate them. And we can use collections as well. I skipped the smart collection, but if we have enough time, I'm gonna be showing you that in the next lesson. Actually, the next lesson will be tough again, so there's a lot to study together. So Cassandra, thank you. So stay with me, guys. Don't run. If you're a little bit late, it is perfectly fine. So there's a challenge for you, okay? Send me over a photo that you would like to edit. So the reason I say that, send me over a photo that you think that has potential, but you don't know what to do with it. So if you shot an amazing like panorama, but you don't know how to enhance it, just send me this photo. And you think that has potential and can be edited, you can really bring lots of details back alive from this picture, just send it to me, okay, as an exercise. So I see what you consider a good shot and then what you consider a good editable as well picture, okay? And you can do it tomorrow, at the end of the week, or whatever you want. The address is lightroom@academy.com, and of course tomorrow will be uploaded this video and as well your the quiz that you can do, and the recordings will be available in your student login area. Guys, as said, we have this photography course toolkit. Might not work at the moment. We are fixing it. It should be done right now. Where you can find it is totally optional, of course, but I'm going to be uploading the summary notes for every lesson, bonus videos, and exclusive as well PDF about photography. Okay, so if you want extra resources to make your experience with me better as well, and as well your experience with the program, of course you can download and get this extra material that we give out to the students. I just have uploaded a video on YouTube. Make sure to find my channel on YouTube as well. You won't find myself, you will hear my voice like in the webinar. But we have a Lightroom channel on our YouTube page with the Show Academy. Make sure to comment and subscribe as well. And as well, guys, we are inside the Q&A session, so you can ask me whatever you like about the photos, about my style, about the lesson, about anything you really want to know. Okay. What is the people mode? Marsha is asking. People mode basically recognizes your facial features. You know where you tag when you tag the people on Facebook. Basically, you click on the face and it should just pop up, like a little square should pop up, and you can write down the name. Basically, it is something similar, integrates different functions as well. So if you want to upload, I think, this picture through the people mode into Facebook, because Lightroom is also very well connected to social media, so you can export as long as you put your account in Lightroom. You can export pictures in Behance, in Flickr, and in Facebook as well. If you put a meta tag on the faces of the people, then basically social media, social networks will recognize the feature as well. It's not something that we're gonna go through, but you can experiment with that, absolutely. Unfortunately, guys, like I say, 10 lessons are not enough. The program is amazing. I'm planning to develop as well additional lessons as well, because there's a lot to learn. Unfortunately, we have to make a choice, and I'm trying to go as fast as possible, trying to explain everything as clear as possible. But I'm talking about the major features of Lightroom. So we're gonna start with the editing. We're gonna start actually we started to organize our workspace. We're gonna jump into the editing, and then we finalize our efforts with a good prints as well. So it is a process. We identified that this process could work for you, and of course, if you have any questions, you can always send me an email, but you can also experiment on your own, okay? And Hazelan, if you're a lifetime member, I'm not sure about that. I think that this toolkit, a part of some PDF that might be given, but this toolkit it is a new feature. I have to double check. I'm sorry. Send me an email. I'm not sure about this. It is totally something new that came up in these days. So I need to double check if members can get it for free or not. Paul, I'm not sure if you are a lifetime member, but I haven't announced it yet, and I don't know, I need to double check. Are you a member? Perhaps you know better than me. If you just following this lesson and no others, you're not considered as a lifetime member with the Show Academy. I'm gonna be talking about the lifetime membership, as you can see over here, during lesson number 6. Okay, so we're gonna have lots of time to talk about it, what is gonna be included, and etc., etc. So Lisa, I've had an email about members getting it free, but I'm unable to find out where to get it. Just Lisa, send me an email, just have a look for you, okay? Annelien is asking, if we send you your pictures as discussed, what format must be? Well, hopefully JPEG, okay? JPEG is the easiest file that you could save, and also it's very, very small. So you please don't send me raw files that I have to open with Lightroom. So just make it easy. JPEG, it is perfectly fine. Low resolution, well, as long as I can appreciate your photo, of course, just to make it like a thumbnail, like 1 by 1 inches. So as far as I can like have a look at it, it is okay. Lean, no, the lifetime membership will be for all the courses that we have at the moment. It will be for everything that we have at the Show Academy. Some of you may already be familiar with the offer. The offer tends to vary between month and month as well, but of course grants you the access to everything that we have for life. And come on, guys, any questions? Like, I don't know, anything you want to ask me? You're just so silent this evening. I don't know what's going on. And maybe because I spent like half an hour before the lessons just having a chat with you. But if you want to ask me anything, it's okay. I understand it is a little bit late. Tomorrow I have to select some photos for the next lesson, because it is a tough lesson. We're gonna be talking about the histogram and how to just move our first steps, just editing the pictures as well. Mike is asking, thank you for the question. Early in the lesson, you refer to an assignment. Is merely sending you the image, please? Yes, I just changed last minute the assignment. I want to know what you consider. Maybe because also what I was thinking, if there's a really incredible image that you sent me, maybe we find a way that we can work on it, and then you see your work. Basically, I'm gonna be working on that picture. I can see what I can do with that. Maybe I can give you my point of view on this picture. And let's say, just send me a picture that you think is editable, that you can edit, you can enhance it, and a picture that you think that has potential, okay? Raw images, no, Teresa, because otherwise it gets too big to download. It's not a problem nowadays with the fast fiber internet anyways, but makes my life easier. Jing is asking, what useful for color label? So Jing, I think that can you rephrase the question? Sorry, or maybe if I understood your question would be maybe what kind of label do you use? Well, maybe it is totally up to you. Red for really bad photos, yellow for okay photos, and green for superb photos, for instance. Kaylee, if you want to send me an image that you have edited, okay, but however, I would like to see a picture that you maybe you shot, you didn't do much on it, and you think that something could be done on it, but you don't know where to begin. Okay, because also I remember myself the first like time I just wanted to improve my photos with Photoshop, but there were so many buttons, so many things that I could do that I just ended up using all of them. Okay, and that could be the risk as well, because we're gonna be exploring lots of functions, but doesn't mean that we have to use all of them together. So that's the thing. So be careful on where we're going, on what you're applying, and always be gentle with your retouching as well. Okay, Patrick, why would you color label a bad picture? Surely you should get rid of the rubbish. Yes, Patrick, but you may never know. That's why editing takes time. Because if it's totally rubbish, okay, delete it. But if you're not really sure, if you want to review it for tomorrow or for another day, just label it, okay? Because editing, sometimes when you look at your pictures for 2 hours, you just can't distinguish the differences. You have to get up, get outside, take some fresh air, go back, and then you can see that you change your point of view. So make sure to label the pictures that you are unsure of, and it will be useful for future references, okay? That's okay, Shireen just left. I know, guys, it is a little bit late. I have to do the editing as well. So let's wrap up for this evening. Thank you very much for being with me as well. And ciao ciao. Okay, at this point, thank you guys for being so patient. Thank you. The email is lightroom@showacademy.com. Okay, guys, thank you again. Thank you very much. Thank you. See you soon.